Welcome everybody to another episode of the J&D Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Darian.
I'm Jason.
And we have a really good weekend for you guys. We had boxing, we had IU, and of course we had NFL and NCAA. First, we're going to start out with the IU. The IU men's soccer team increased to 3 games. On a 3-game winning streak, they beat Ohio State. At least we showed we could beat Ohio State in something. We can't beat them in football, so.
Yeah, I mean, football's a whole another debate. But I told you, you have been doubting this soccer team. You said, I'm out on them, all this stuff. And I said,
I did.
I'm losing faith, but I never was fully out on them. Okay. And this is exactly proving why I wasn't. These guys, they're a team full of talented players. They just really weren't, getting it all the way together. Mm-hmm. And it looks like that's where they're at now. They're really hitting their stride. 3-game win streak is really good, especially towards the end of the season, because that's when you want to get hot.
Yep.
You'd rather get hot at the end than the beginning.
Yes.
So it's really encouraging to see them play like this. And who knows? I mean, they only have one loss in Big Ten play. So for all we know, they could win the Big Ten, like I've been saying. Okay. I still don't know about our national championship hopes, because our team hasn't looked spectacular, but they've definitely looked way better than they did, towards the beginning of the season. Yep. And it's very, very, it's giving a great outlook for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, you was definitely more high on them than I was. I kind of was out on them a couple weeks ago. But, it's good to see that they're hitting their stride to end the season. I kind of said they were hopefully they can get something going towards the end of the season to have something to go in the next season. Maybe they can make a run in the playoffs. Maybe get a Big Ten title. Who knows? For me, yeah, I mean, I knew they had talent. I just said they weren't putting it together. They weren't playing cohesively like the women's team was, which is causing them to lose games. I feel like they should have a way better record than they do. I think they're 9-3-4, something like that. Like 9-3-4,
3-5, or 8-3-4.
Oh, they're 8-3-4. My bad. 8-3-4.
Or is that 9?
That's 6.
Oh, they're 6-3-4. My bad. They're 6-3-4. So yeah, I expect them to be able to have a way better record. Maybe two losses, maybe 1 loss, but to each their own. I guess like you said, at least they're hitting their stride at the end of the season. Maybe roll in, maybe sneak a Big Ten championship. We don't really know about the national championship. Not really in our sights right now. We'll see when we get to it.
Yeah.
Type thing. All right. Well, speaking of national titles, women's soccer.
Yes, sir.
So it's funny. We tie against Michigan State and then we beat Michigan. That was interesting.
We run the entire state of Michigan is what you're saying?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, it was a fantastic game. It's a 1-0 game, but very much action throughout. Mm-hmm. And I want to shout out our goalie, Jamie Gerstenberg. Ooh. Her 24th career shutout and 10th this season, both which are IU records.
She's in her bag.
So shout out to her having a fantastic season.
In her bag.
Just stopping everything, the Berlin Wall, as we call her.
She's her.
But this team is just playing amazing. We have young and old talent. Piper Cofield is very high up on the freshman list nationally.
Yep.
Paige Weber got really high up in just the general women's list. It's looking amazing for these girls. Mm-hmm. They're really just on their A game. It feels like they've only lost once, and it was controversial-ish.
Yeah.
But it's been amazing for them so far, and these girls can do anything, it feels like. And I will be surprised if they don't do everything, that kind of thing.
I would definitely be surprised as well. I was hoping we would have came out of that Michigan stretch with a 2-0 record. But, 1-1, 1-0-1 is not bad, I guess you could say. It's not bad. Yeah. We do got to face Penn State next, who's ranked number 4th right now in the country, who actually just tied against Northwestern, who we beat. So we definitely can win that game. I think we should win that game. And I think that if anything, that would give us the most momentum going into the Big Ten tournament and into the national tournament as well. So, hopefully we can come out with a win there. I think we can. Do.
Yeah, that'll definitely be, I think, their biggest test of the season. I mean, 4th team in the nation. Easy. But these girls are built to win games like these. I mean, I am all aboard the hype train saying they can win this game.
Me too.
And if they do, it's the second to last game of the season. They have one more after this. They're just perfectly set on the track to just winning trophies.
Hell yeah, if we can come out the next 2 games just with a 2-0 record, and especially we beat Penn State up ranked number 4th, oh man, we have all the momentum going into the tournaments for sure. Kind of getting to a lesser hyped topic, the boxing weekend we had. Dillon Danis versus Logan Paul and KSI versus Tommy Fury. How did you feel about that event? We both watched it.
Logan Paul went on first and definitely put on, I guess, I don't even know if it was the better fight. Both the fights kind of sucked.
It was a better fight. But they both were terrible.
But Dillon Danis, fraudulent.
Goodness gracious.
And he was the entire build up to this match, just tweeting all these different posts about Logan Paul's fiance, and it's very disrespectful. But you know what?
Yep.
It's trash talk before a boxing match. Yeah. Maybe when he beats him, then it's a little better. But it was already iffy when he was doing it.
Yeah.
And then to have the fight he kind of does, where he's just protecting himself, hands up the entire time, threw like 2 punches. It felt like.
Yep.
Just just getting worked down by Logan Paul. It just seemed like he was a scared fighter. He didn't seem like he had it in him to win, especially considering he's supposedly the professional fighter of the two. It just looked like Logan completely outmatched him, and it was very, very bad fighting from Dillon.
Yeah, I mean, Dillon got, I guess you could say saved by the DQ result because, I mean, he was going to lose by unanimous decision pretty easily. So yeah, for me, Dillon Danis is the ultimate troll, right? He's the ultimate troll on Twitter that we all talk about. They all bark, no bite.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, this is why no one ever takes internet trolls seriously nowadays, and especially they're not going to take him anymore after what Dillon Danis just showed us.
Yeah.
From what I'm reading from the stats, like he thrown at most 70 punches to Logan Paul's 330. About 330.
I mean, they were a weak 70 at that.
Yeah, and honestly, I would say he threw more punches at the security guards than he threw at
was crazy,
Logan.
bro.
Yeah, that was. I mean, but yeah, for me, like, yeah, it was disrespectful. The talk before was disrespectful. I mean, we've seen worse though, and I mean, I think it was more so disrespectful simply because it was true. So a lot of what he was saying was true, but they were also really low blows as well.
Yeah.
So for me, like, you throw a microphone at an event, which was over the line for me. Right, the trash talk was cool, but like, let's keep it. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep our hands and stuff off of each other before the event, right? You throw a microphone.
Yeah, that was.
You throw a microphone at his face,
crazy.
give him a. I think he had a black eye.
He hit a black eye and got cut.
He had a black eye and got cut before the fight. Yeah, that for me was like over the line. So for you to come and do all that and then come and show us nothing in the fight, not throw any punches, that for me was crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for me, I lost a lot of respect for Dillon Danis after that fight. For sure.
Another fighter I lost respect for is Tommy Fury.
Yeah.
That was a terrible fight for him, especially considering who his brother is.
Yeah.
You know, he's been training his whole life to be a boxer.
Yep.
KSI has been training like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Like when Tommy Fury started training, KSI was making FIFA videos.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think KSI should have won it. I was very shocked at the decision, especially considering Tommy Fury threw like 3 back of the neck shots, which are not allowed. He only got 1 point deduction.
Yeah,
he could have gotten 2. I think he deserved to, but I can't believe he won that match. It was just, he did not look like someone who's been fighting his whole life and someone related to like one of the best boxers of all time.
Yep.
He just looked unprofessional, and I mean, props to KSI. He put up a good fight.
Yeah. Both these fights disappointed me because I've watched boxing, and I watched boxing kind of at its apex, I guess you could say, towards the end, and I've seen how great boxing looks, and then you see events like this where there's actual boxers, undercarding the social media stars. That pisses me off a little bit, right? Because like those guys are actually training. Those guys have been training most of their lives. They were in the Junior Olympics and all that type of stuff to get to this point. And they're undercarding 2 terrible fights. Both the fights were terrible. Now this fight was a little bit better. It was a little bit more competitive, I guess you could say. But like it was terrible too. For me, Tommy Fury, if anything, looked bad in a win. Yeah, he looked bad in a win because. Let's be honest. He should have beaten KSI pretty easily. KSI didn't know what he was doing. Let's be honest. We all watched the fight. He bounced around and then threw an overhand. He jumped in, threw an overhand, and then hugged him after that. For me, Tommy Fury, you have to. If you're the actual boxer, you have to pick that apart.
Yeah, I mean, he has to show his experience there, and he looked like he was another YouTuber just coming for a fight. Yeah. He has a great body. He's very gifted in that sense, but his just entire style, technique, none of that was really working. I was expecting KSI maybe even get knocked out. Like, that's the kind of performance. Like, he beat Jake Paul, and he beats KSI in 2 of, the least convincing wins. Yep. Like, you're fighting YouTubers, and you're barely scrapping out wins. Yep. How do you expect to be taken seriously as a professional boxer?
And then it's funny, because after the fight, they were asking whether or not he should go pro, or should he stay in the social media realm. And I was like, there's no way in the hell you're putting him against any pros right now. Yeah. No way. Because you couldn't outbox 2 guys, let's be honest, 2 guys that can't. I mean, Jake Paul is a better boxer than KSI. I think we all can agree on that. From when I watched in the fights, J. Paul looks like he knows a little bit more of what he's doing than KSI. KSI is more so I'm just gonna jump in, throw overhand punch. If I catch you, I knock you out. Then okay, I have the highlights. But like he's not. For me, I didn't see any jabs from him. I didn't see really any hooks. More so just overhands. So for me, the fact that Tommy Fury, you have the reach advantage, right? You have the height advantage. You're a bigger guy than KSI.
He had every advantage possible.
Yeah, and the fact that you couldn't at least put him down one time was crazy to me. Yeah. And he was missing just a lot of shots that would have honestly put down KSI. But I guess we'll never know because his accuracy is not where it needs to be at. Especially, like you said, considering the fact that he's a younger brother of Tyson Fury, who's considered the greatest heavyweight boxer of all time. Or at least one of them, right? So, yeah, it was definitely disappointing. I think he needs to stay his ass in the fucking social media realm and beat on the social media guys, make your bread like you're going to do. Yeah, just don't, let's not go up there and mess with the big boys, okay?
Definitely.
Let's stay playing with the little boys on the swing set. All right, kind of get into college football, USC. You know, you're a UCLA fan. I want you to go first on this one because you're watching the downfall.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start by saying, yes, UCLA did lose. So
okay, yeah.
I'm acknowledging that.
But at least USC.
I will also acknowledge that USC lost.
Yeah.
And it's been what I've been saying the entire season that it – although, actually, no, this is not what I expected because I thought it was going to be their defense that really screwed them. And to an extent, yes, it was their defense because they got scored 48 on. But really, their biggest downfall was Caleb Williams.
Yep.
He threw 3 interceptions in the first half, 0 touchdowns. That just sunk the team immediately.
It did.
And then they came out in the second half looking flat again, getting another turnover. And it's just like they never seemed like they were in this game. They seemed very uncompetitive. I'm scared for what's going to happen to them in the rankings. They're already number 10 as an undefeated team.
I think they're 16.
Oh, they're 18 now?
They're 18th now.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's crazy as a one-loss team. I mean, with the Heisman former or one of the Heisman candidates, it's just a really disappointing performance from him.
Yep.
And you know, maybe this is a sign for the future of USC not being able to perform in the Midwest when it gets cold.
Yeah, see, my problem with that game was like, okay, so I'm all right. We watched that game after the Oregon game, and that's watched the game, which we will talk about, by the way. And I was like, okay, Caleb Williams he saw what Michael Penix did. He's gonna come and put it on the performance, right? And they're gonna beat Notre Dame down. It probably I thought it was gonna be a shootout, like you said, because their USC defense is terrible, right? And then I was like, okay, so I see the first pick, and I'm like, okay, that's not. Okay, maybe they have a 4 touchdown, 1 interception game.
Yeah.
You know, that's fine. He'll bounce back. And then I'm like, okay, he throws another pick. And I'm like, okay, that's not right. What is going on right now? Now, I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but Caleb, I think you saw what Michael Penix did, and it kind of shook you a little bit, personally.
You think that's what caused this?
I think that would have shook him. You know, like we've seen Caleb go against some really good defenses and pick them apart, right? And I want to say Notre Dame is a you know, those guys. I don't think they're a dominant defense. I think they're a good defense. Right?
Yeah.
But 1 touchdown, 3 interception game, I don't think they're that type of defense, right? So for me, Caleb Williams was, I think we both can agree, was unanimous the Heisman front runner. Now, right, you see Michael Penix go and put on a performance against Oregon. Like, put on one of those, he had one of those games, right? I think they were down. They were down
at the very end.
They were down at the very end, and they ended up winning that game as well. So, yeah, for you to see that and you come out and put that performance on the field,
yeah, I mean, just overall as a team, 5 turnovers is really suspect.
I think we all know they go as Caleb Williams goes. So when you see your main guy struggling, you're like, okay, it lowers your confidence a little bit. You stop playing with a little bit of fear to you, right? You're like, damn,
you start getting more scared yourself.
Yeah, he's not performing.
Yeah,
what are we gonna do? We rely on him. He's our whole team. Let's be honest. He's our whole team. Like the defense ain't doing nothing. So like very underwhelming performance though. Notre Dame. They didn't really have to do much on offense, honestly. They didn't have to do much on offense. Their defense basically took care of them the entirety of the game.
That's the crazy thing. USC had 9 more minutes of possession.
Yeah.
And they got just rolled.
They had more yards total offense. They had almost 60 yards of total offense. I think actually they had 51 yards total offense.
Yeah, because
more.
Caleb Williams kept throwing picks on the wrong side of the field.
So, yeah, for me, like...
He just sabotaged them, it felt like.
What do you... Okay, so does this concern you at all for this USC team going forward?
I mean, they're 1 loss away from being out of the playoffs, and they have to play Oregon and Washington, which they will most likely drop at one, if not both of those games.
They're not one of those games.
So this is a very disappointing year for them. I mean, you have the reigning Heisman coming back, trying to win back-to-back Heisman for the first time in 80 years, however long it's
been a minute
since it happened.
Yeah.
And you have all these weapons, and it's just really been disappointing for them.
Put on a terrible performance. And yeah, they put up 20 points, but like, come on now. That game was never competitive once.
No, it wasn't.
It was never competitive. So at least I'm hoping for Caleb. Hopefully when you guys do play Washington that you put on you outshine Michael Penix. So you can at least put some doubt in the mind of Heisman voters.
It'll be tough for him though. I mean,
it'll be tough, yeah.
It'll be an exciting game.
Speaking of Michael Penix, man, he's balling, man. Whoo! Front runner, baby. You was high on him.
I don't want to say I called it.
You was high on him. You was high on him.
A couple weeks ago, I was like, my eyes are on Michael, not Caleb. And, last week I was a little swayed by some Caleb performances, but I'm right back on the track. The Michael Penix hype train. It sucks seeing it as an IU fan, seeing that the number 4 team, whatever Washington is now in the country, led by an IU quarterback and an IU head coach. And seeing where we're at, it's very, very sad overall.
Now we got time.
But that team is just looking unbelievable. They beat Oregon, it was a close game. I mean, it really could have gone either way. The kicker makes the kick. They go to overtime. But in the end of the day, they pulled it out, I guess, when they needed to. And Michael Penix looked like the clear Heisman favorite. He came into this week with people saying, oh, he's now the favorite. And he really backed it up like he needed to. And it's really encouraging if you're a Washington fan. Maybe you get to go to your second playoff in like 8 years or however long it's been since it made it last. But this team is looking like one of the best in the nation. I'm more convinced on them than most of the other teams in the top 5.
Okay. That's interesting. Okay. That was an amazing one yesterday, by the way. I mean, granted, the Oregon kicker did miss the kick, but, I mean, they did what they had to do.
Yeah.
They did what they had to do. At most, you go to overtime, right? Because they weren't scoring. Bo Nix was... So, for me, like, we watched Bo Nix's final drive, right? And I was like, okay... Right, like a lot of these teams, and we saw a lot of these teams this weekend, put the game in the hands of the kicker or the foot of the kicker, right?
Yeah.
And like my thing is, right, Bo Nix, they was talking about the commentator was talking about how he was like in the Heisman running, and I was like, there's no one.
Yeah, they said 2 Heisman favorites.
Yeah, there's nobody in the country that had Bo Nix as a Heisman favorite, right? He had a good game, right? But like when you needed Michael Penix to get you points, he got you those points. He got you that 7, right? When you needed Bo Nix to still get you points, I think they had like 2 timeouts. You're dinking and dunking. You're checking down. Washington's missing a lot of tackles. Okay, they get you in the field range. Cool. But, like, you played it very conservatively, right?
Yeah. It seemed like they weren't going for the win on that last drive. They just wanted to make sure they could get to overtime.
Yeah, let's get overtime.
And it's understandable since you're going against such a good team.
Yeah.
But if you should have enough faith in your quarterback, at least try to get that touchdown, at least win the game.
Yeah.
And then go to that. But it just didn't seem like they were really, like, going for the kill.
Yeah, and even with that, I was like, it's not like your defense was shutting down Michael Penix either. Michael Penix was doing his thing.
Nobody's shutting down Michael Penix.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, like, you're going to go to overtime now, and then you're going to risk having to outscore him when your defense is on its heels now. So, my thing is right there, like in that position, I'm going for the kill. If I'm Bo Nix, I'm taking at least one shot. I don't think they took one shot the entirety of the time. Yeah, they just...
they're just playing conservative. And, I mean, fair enough, they did get into the position they wanted to get in. But... maybe you trust your quarterback more than your kicker.
But there's no way you have 36 yards of total offense more than them and you lose the game. There's just no way.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough loss for them, but it's still not devastating, I'd say, because they didn't get blown out.
Yep.
They were right there to the end. I think their outlook for the rest of the year is still pretty good.
But I'm looking at the stats, and it makes the loss look even worse. You had more yards than them total. They gave you a turnover, and you dominated them on time possession by almost 9 minutes.
Well, they dominated time possession because Michael Penix was just so quick. He scored touchdowns as quick as could be, it felt like.
You got more third down conversion than them. The only thing that they converted more fourth downs than you. But yeah, you basically was on the field longer and you lost the game. That's my thing. So like, if anything, I'm more concerned about their defense. But their offense, like, you have to put up points. Obviously, if your defense is struggling right now, they're on their heels. You have to go and put up points, especially with all those yards you're putting in. Because, like, you're getting all those yards and you're just getting threes. You're getting field goals.
Yeah, I mean, as bad as you're making it sound, it's still to one of the best teams in the nation.
Yeah, they are.
And
I'm not denying that.
If I was an Oregon fan, which I'm not, but I like to root for them,
Yeah,
Ducks are a fun team.
I
still think they are looking like a top 10 team by the end of the season. I don't think they fall out of the top 10, really.
I mean, I'm not trying to thrash them or anything. I'm just saying, like, when you have all these advantages, you have to win that game.
Yeah.
Simple. You just have to win that game. But, like, let's swap it, right? Let's swap it. Let's say Washington has all of that. They probably put 50 on them. The way they were scoring, the way they couldn't stop them. They're probably putting 50 up.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Washington had the lead going into half, then they scored again, and then all of a sudden, Oregon just turned the game on its head, took the lead. So maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's either on, like I said, I just really wish they had won that game, especially, like, coming down to, I wish I had seen more from Bo Nix. I wish I'd seen some more killer instinct. But team that has zero to little to none killer instinct. Colorado. How y'all doing, man? Y'all flexing? Y'all still flexing the watches?
Hell yeah.
Hey.
I mean,
he's not.
I thought this was a guaranteed win for Colorado. I checked the score at halftime. They're up 29-0, whatever it is.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, game's over. Mm-hmm. And then I check it again, and all of a sudden, Stanford's within a score. I'm like, what's happening here? But, it's just a little scare. Colorado will get it back together. And then I check the final, and they lose in overtime. Mm-hmm. And this team is not it. Deion Sanders, it's his first year, and, his players aren't fully developed. They're all transfers, but this is a kind of loss you cannot have to a bad Stanford team.
Terrible.
They were 1-4 coming into the season. Coming this week, or 1-5.
Yeah.
And to lose like that is heartbreaking, demoralizing, just terrible. Yep. And then you see at the end of the game the Stanford players flexing.
Flex on.
It's like what we talked about last week with Shedeur. Yep. It's okay if you do it, but just know that it's probably going to happen back to you. And it got shown to them. Yep. It's just a crazy way to lose a game and might just throw off their entire season. For all we know, they missed the bowl game. It'd be pretty incredible because they have 4 wins right now, and for them to lose out, it'd be kind of crazy. But
that would be crazy.
This kind of loss is the kind of loss that sinks you for the rest of the season. I feel like.
Yeah, they went against 2 great teams in Oregon, and they went against USC, and they lost both those games. People were like, "Oh man, they looked good against USC. They looked really good. They had fight. They showed fight." Well, you scored 29. You scored 29 unanswered in the first half, but then you get outscored 36-7 in the second half.
Yeah,
that's the problem, right? There's just no way you don't put up at least 1-3. If you put up 1-3, you win the game. You even escape with the win. Even though you let them come back, you escape with the win, right? Kind of like how USC did. But then you lose to a team that's more known for their intelligence than their football team. That's a problem for me, right? That's a problem. Like, there's just no way you lose that game, Deion. And then again, like we said, man, you better be Arizona State. Okay, you messing with fire now. Okay, you messing with fire.
Yeah, they just keeping it and keep these close games with these bad teams.
And you're flexing after that. Like, you're flexing after beating a terrible Arizona State team. Yeah, that should be a wake-up call right there. Stop flexing, okay? When you beat these bad teams, stop flexing, Shedeur. I understand you want to have swag. That's cool. That's all, Danny. We all know your father had the utmost swag, right? We understand that. But you're not beating. First of all, you're not winning any type of national championship, right? At least when your father was doing it, he was the best player in college. He was the best player in football. You can make the argument, right? Mm-hmm. No one's making the argument for you being the best player in college football. Nobody.
Especially not now.
So, stop flexing, bro. Okay? Let's when you win the game, just go shake their hands and get off the field.
Yeah.
But let's not do the extra stuff, right? Because now you're losing the teams that you should beat by 40. Yeah. So for me, Deion. People are talking about him going to the NFL. I think he needs a couple more seasons in college, especially after that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You just can't let that kind of thing happen. So hopefully, Deion, you get those dogs you was talking about, man. Hopefully you end up getting those dogs, man. Whew, them dogs on the defensive offensive line, because you can't be losing games like that, especially now. And you also had Travis Hunter back, so you can't make the excuse we didn't have Travis Hunter. Yeah, that's the even more disappointing part for their fans. Shedeur throws 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, and you can't win the game. That's just crazy.
Travis Hunter comes and balls out 13 receptions for 140 yards, 2 touchdowns, and you lose the game. Even your second receiver, Xavier Weaver, goes off too, and you lose the game. So that's definitely heartbreaking if I'm a Colorado fan. Yeah, for sure to lose that game. But kind of getting into some NFL, the Ravens beat the Titans
in London.
Are you? Do you think it's time to hang it up for Ryan Tannehill and give Will Levis his shot?
I've never been big on Tannehill.
I haven't either, and
I'm not big on Levis either. That's the problem. It's like they bench him. I don't really know where else they go.
Okay, so apparently they're giving Malik Willis his snaps. If Ryan Tannehill's not doing his job, then they're going to give it to Malik Willis. At least give Malik Willis or Will Levis. Give them the starting position. Just see how they play for a couple games. If not, you can honestly rotate both of those guys. Just see Ryan Tannehill for the season. He's not going to win you anything. You're not making the playoffs or anything like that. So you might as well just give those guys snaps and see which one you can go with for the future.
Well, I think the problem with them is that they still think they're competing for at least the playoffs right now. And you're not going to bench your starting quarterback who's brought you to the playoffs. It's not like he's consistently choked away the season for them. he's brought them to the playoffs. It's just his ceiling is only so high.
Yeah.
And it seems like he's now on the downfall of he was a fine game manager at best.
Fine game manager.
But it's really just not there with him anymore.
Nope.
And I think they're just going to stick about with, at least for the rest of the season, unless they are completely sunken and they're completely out of the playoff picture. I don't see them starting Levis or Willis, but I could be shocked. Tennessee can do the fun thing, but I highly doubt it.
So they're like 2-4 now, right? So the Jags are about, I would say they're about 4-2 right now. About 4-2. So, I mean, I think they have because since the Colts beat them, so they're the second, right? They're the second. And no, actually, the Texans might actually be the second now. No, the Texans are tied with the Colts. Okay, so yeah, you're last in your division. I'm sitting Ryan Tannehill. You're not making the playoffs. Let's be honest. The Texans seem like they're rolling now, especially. The Colts, they can drop. I can see them dropping for sure, especially with what I saw from Michigan yesterday, right? So I don't know. For me, like I wouldn't play Tannehill for the rest of the season. I would see what I got in both these young kids, and I'm going to make a decision for one of them going into next year. That's what I would do.
Unfortunately for them, I don't think either of them are getting any good.
I mean, yeah, sadly. I mean,
doesn't do much for them, but who knows? Maybe Malik Willis has developed crazy since last year.
Yeah, I mean, Malik Willis has all the physical talent to be that guy. Hopefully, he can develop. I mean, granted, like they're besides D-Hop, for me, it's not, like we said, remember we said he had a random game last week? And he comes back and gives you one reception for 20 yards. So, yeah. I mean, it's not like you have much help in your receiving core.
Derrick Henry had a pretty good game, though. 8.1 yards per carry. It is absurd for them.
It is. And especially on Baltimore's defense, who really good at stopping the run. And it has been really good at stopping Derrick Henry these last couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, for me, I mean, I don't know. I don't see them making any run. And even if they do make the playoffs,
they're not going to win.
They make the wild card. You're not winning the game. So, yeah, for me, yeah, I'm seeing what I got in both the young kids, if anything. So, on to my Panthers. No, I didn't. You know what? I'm actually not that demoralized that we lost this week, and here's why, right?
Oh, because you started 14-0?
Yeah, we did. And actually, this is probably one of the few games that I actually saw some upside from Bryce. And I was like, okay. He could be something. He could be something. Okay. I like what I saw from Chuba Hubbard, too. Chuba Hubbard ran the ball really well, even though he only had about 5 yards to carry. He ran the ball really well from what I saw. Adam Dillon apparently has woken up from his hibernation. And, we missed a couple of balls to DJ Chark. He could have had a better game, but we missed a lot of balls to him. So, for me, the only thing that I'm very concerned about is what we're going to do for the future. We need to shore up the interior of our offensive line. They got destroyed yesterday by Christian Wilkins. Our secondary, not it. We need to get rid of Dante Jackson. Let's try to get like a 4th or 5th for him. And honestly, now this might be unpopular with a lot of Carolina fans. I think we need to give up Brian Burns. Let's try to get some draft capital for this year. We have none, right? So let's try to get something for him, right? Let's try to get something. Let's try to build around Bryce as much as we possibly can. Brian Burns is a good pass rusher. He's on the borderline great, but he's not a game wrecker for me.
I think the only issue with trading him is that if you do, that defense is completely done. And what you're saying is you trade him for draft picks for next year, the year after, and you're saying, oh, draft offensive talent, get around Bryce because they got no one there. But then now you're just having an even worse defense. And so I'm not saying I totally disagree with trading Brian Burns. I just think it's a risky move for them because they have to be able to draft well enough to back it up.
I would say we're missing. Well, I know we're missing our first pick. I don't think we're missing our second round pick, right? Second round pick. I don't think we're missing that. So if we can, I think we can get a second for Brian Burns. Maybe a second, maybe some thirds,
something like that, probably.
Maybe some seconds, some thirds. So I'm thinking, right, we can draft a little bit of offensive line. I think Jonathan Mingo can develop. I wish Lavish Shenault would stay healthy because he got hurt yesterday. DJ Chark is something. We have something there. He can get deep. I think Bryce missed him a lot of throws that he was open. He can do something with them. So if we can shore up our interior of our line, we can run the ball with Chuba Hubbard, right? And we can start getting some pieces on the defense side of the football. I think we'll be better, right? Because I think our secondary is where we're mostly lacking at. Corey J.C. Horn has not been back at all, so we're missing him for sure. C.J. Henderson played pretty well yesterday, but Dante Jackson is just not it. And I haven't been sold on him for a while now. I thought when we got Gilly, him and Gilly were going to be, okay, those two are going to be those guys. We have a fast corner who can take the faster guys, and we have Gilly, who at that point was still a shutdown corner.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, we can make some moves. And then, even then, he's the weak link, sadly. I saw a play. Did you see the Tyreek Hill play? where he just simply torched him off the line.
With the one where he did the backflip when he celebrated? Mm-hmm. The crazy thing about that backflip, this is just a little tangent on the NFL, is he got fined for it, I'm pretty sure, or at least he got an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Yeah.
But so he takes, I think it's his like personal like producer or whatever, the guy who shoots his promotional videos and stuff, takes his phone, records himself, and does a backflip. That's sick and all that.
That was sick.
But then the NFL punishes him. You know, give him a flag. He's going to get fined for that. But I can guarantee you that video is going to be used in some kind of promotional stuff later down the line, which is super messed up. You're punishing the player and then exploiting it.
You're going to use it,
That's messed up.
For sure. And I think you'll get paid for that. For when they do, you have to use it. I think you will get paid since it wasn't shot by anybody in the NFL. It was shot by his own personal photographer. For me, like I saw him, like Dante Jackson runs what, a 4.32? Like
he's one of the fastest corners in the league.
A low 4.3. And he got torched. Like I think Tyreek Hill had about 10 steps on him.
Tyreek's just like the fastest guy in the world, it feels like.
But like, I'm expecting you to at least be somewhere near close, like maybe 5 yards off. He was like 10 yards, cleared him. So for me, Dante Jackson has to go for sure. Like, and then I saw a play in the red zone when Tua threw his touchdown to Jalen Waddle. Tua did a bootleg, a play action bootleg, and outran Dante Jackson. Outran him. I'm like, bro, what are you talking? You're fast as hell. Tua's not that fast.
The thing is, he's fast, but that's like the main part of his football. Physique is he's just not a great player everywhere else. His coverage isn't great. He just doesn't take as good lines as he should.
He doesn't show me anything. So hopefully we can get rid of Brian, get rid of Dante. Let's get some pieces. Let's just start building for the future.
Just gonna tear down that entire defense.
I think the only people I'm keeping is JC. Hopefully he can finally start staying healthy. I'm keeping Jeremy. I'm keeping. I like CJ Henderson. I like CJ Henderson a little bit. I like Derrick Brown. He has a lot of upside. Hopefully he can be a little bit more disciplined, but I like Derrick Brown. And Gus Mato's decent. I think we have some. Frankie Louvu is also really good. I think we can keep some guys
free
there.
Agent.
He is.
After this year.
Hopefully we can sign him back. But
he's good, yeah.
We have some pieces that are there. We have some pieces that are there. Just get rid of some of the guys and just start building. Another team that is on a roll right now, apparently, the Texans. On a roll, beat the Saints.
These guys are playing way above what I think everybody expected them. And a lot of that credit, of course, has to go to C.J. Stroud. He's doing amazing. But also, a decent amount of that credit, I think, has to go to their head coach. D'Amico Ryan coming over from the 49ers. I think he's done a fantastic job with this defense made out of paper mache, it feels like. And, they've been able to win these games. They're third or second place in their division now.
Yep, tied.
And if I was a Texans fan, I'd be really happy with how the season's gone so far.
I'm happy too.
I mean, my quarterback looks like he's the real deal.
Yep.
My head coach looks like he's the real deal.
He's the real deal.
Especially considering that C.J. Stroud doesn't really have that many weapons around him. Dalton Schultz isn't really amazing.
Yeah.
Robert Woods is Robert Woods.
Yeah, he's not
Tank Dell's good. I like Tank Dell.
Tank does a lot of upside.
But it's not like he's doing this with superstars around him. So it's very encouraging to see from that. Yeah. And seeing this defense with not really many notable players be able to put up these kind of performances, it's also encouraging. I would be over the moon if I was a Texans fan right now.
Texans, you have a lot of upside going into the future, man, for sure. Like Nico Collins is looking like he can be a decent one or number one. Maybe that's credit to CJ Stroud, but I guess we'll have yet to see. It's not like you guys are running the football well either. I mean, you ran 25 carries for like almost 90 yards. Yeah, that's not great. Not great, but I mean, for me, like if I'm the Texans, I see a lot of upside in this team. D'Amico Ryan looks like he's gonna be one of the best coaches in the league these upcoming years for sure. He has the team balling. Their defense looks really good. Hopefully, they can get some more pieces as well. If I'm them, right, like I don't know if like because like right now it looks like they're kind of going for a playoff spot, right? And the thing with that whole thing is right. The reason why you guys are able to like look as good as you do now because you're getting a lot of high draft picks, right? They got C.J. Stroud, they got Will Anderson. Yeah. So like, I don't know if I'm winning most of these games.
Well, I think I'm a fan of it because you want to build that confidence in your quarterback that just carries over. Also, they traded away their draft picks because they drafted Will Anderson too, and then they traded like half their draft for this year to the Cardinals to get Stroud. So it's not like they have possession of their first-round pick for this year. So I don't see a problem with them trying to win. Just build momentum, just have building blocks for this team. And especially on a first-year head coach, he's not going to say, I want draft picks for next year. No, he wants to win, and he's doing that so far.
I think you can get something. I think you can get something for Dameon Pierce. I think because Dameon Pierce is not shit for me. I don't like Dameon Pierce at all as a corner. I think you can get I don't know. Carl Williams ain't shit, right? So you're kind of hoping that Dalton Schultz, Nico Collins, Noah Brown, those guys can develop. C.J. Stroud's gonna be C.J. Stroud for sure. He's gonna be a baller. The defense is cool. Like I like Will Anderson. I like Steve Nelson. I like Stingley as well. So I like Jalen Petrie as well. So I mean, you do. I didn't even think about it. You actually do have a pretty young team.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, I kind of agree with what you're saying. Yeah, build them up. Because you have a pretty young team. I was thinking they had more older guys, but then I looked at it and Robert Woods is really the only old guy on that team for real. Maybe Steven Nelson as well.
I think their outlook is looking fantastic now.
It does look really good. I would say that you guys are going to have a good team. I think they probably can honestly start competing with the Jags like in the next 2 years.
Yeah, definitely sure. Next year or the year after for sure.
Oh yeah, and then hopefully A-Rich can stay healthy too, so that can be like a three-team race. You know, that'd be really good for the league for sure. Because the AFC South has been shit in a couple of years. So hopefully,
I don't think it ever has.
Yeah, that too. So now we can get into the Commanders and the Falcons. You and I have been pretty all right, pretty high on Sam Howell. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Desmond Ridder finally came back down to earth for sure. Threw 2 interceptions, but no, actually threw 3 interceptions. He threw 2 touchdowns. Sam Howell looked really good though. I think that team is it's interesting, right? Because I like Terry McLaurin, I like Curtis Samuel. I love Jahan Dotson. I wish he did more yesterday. Did he play yesterday?
He did. He just didn't get anything.
Okay,
really.
so yeah, I wish he did a little bit more yesterday. But yeah, for me, Sam Howell was I think. For my problem with the Commanders is this, right? The defensive line is so good, right? I wish their back end was as good as the defensive line.
Yeah.
If their back end was as good as their defensive line, like if they had the Cowboys back end, they would be probably the best team in the NFC East. If not fighting with the Eagles forward.
I don't know if they'd be there exactly. That offense is still coming into its own. It's still I don't think.
We saw them get in a shootout with the Eagles.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't think it's indicative of overall team quality. Okay. They have had a lot of good games. I just don't think they're at a stage where they're ready to compete yet. And maybe they are, and I'm just misreading the situation. But from what I've seen of this team, they're good, not great.
They're good. Yeah.
They can make the wild card game. Mm-hmm. They can make it competitive. I don't think they'll win the wild card game. Yeah. But, they have definitely good players. I just don't think it's all there yet,
Yeah, hopefully their back end can develop. Hopefully the offensive line can get a little bit better. I like Sam Howell. I think Sam Howell is definitely the QB of the future. I wish he had started last year over Taylor Heineke, so he can at least have 2 years now.
Yeah.
Now he had about a year under his belt. So technically, I think he played a couple games at the end of the year.
He played 2 or just a couple games last year, and I saw a quote, which really was the reason I was sold preseason on Sam Howell, whereas Ron Rivera, and he's saying, we played him last year, and I was like, holy shit, why haven't we been starting this guy the whole year?
Yep.
And that really sold me on him, and
yeah, I like him too.
Shown. I mean, the numbers don't pop out at you.
They don't.
14 for 23, 151 yards. 3 touchdowns is good, but it's way better than what we've seen from Commanders quarterbacks of the past.
Oh, of course, for sure.
Which is really all they need at this point.
She's RG3. But yeah, my thing with that is, and also, I'm not going to say Kirk Cousins' name. I'm not going to disrespect the Redskins. So for me, right, Sam Howell's definitely a QB of the future. Brian Robinson's definitely a running back of the future for sure for me. And then, I like Terry McLaurin. Curtis Samuel's cool for sure. I like. They actually got a pretty decent team.
Yeah, they're pretty decent.
They got a pretty decent
That's what I'm saying. They're decent. Yeah. They're not amazing yet, but they definitely have the potential to be down the line.
If Sam Howell could rise and become a top
Sam Howell steps up his game again, which he totally could. Yeah. This team could definitely be dangerous in the future. They'll be a team to deal with, especially with that defensive line all being young, too. Their whole defensive line is extremely young. So, you still got Chase Young, you still got Jonathan Allen, you still got Deron Payne, and you still got Montez on the other side. Yeah, and then I think they have the other rookie who's breaking out this year. What's his name? The rookie, one of the linebackers that's breaking out this year. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Can you go down a little bit? Who is he? What's his name? Jamin Davis. Jamin Davis. Oh, Jamin Davis. He's not a rookie.
Jamin Davis. Jamin Davis not a rookie?
He was drafted last year, 2 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, then he's breaking out then. But he's
really having a good year so far.
He's looking really good, yeah. So for me, yeah. Yeah. I think they have the pieces to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Really so, yeah, we kind of talked a little about AR. Went down. I think they say for right now, it's confirmed that he's missing, I think, 4 games, maybe 6 games, I think. Money Mister didn't look good yesterday.
No.
At all. Yeah. And we talked about that he's not going to, lose you any games, but he's not going to ball out.
I think he did lose him this game.
Yeah, he
we were wrong.
He lost you that game. He lost you that game for sure. Yeah, if I'm the Colts, I don't know about the future. I'm worried about the future for the Colts because you got the guy and he can't stay healthy because he just simply thinks he's Superman.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. He goes down and you don't know what the injury is. Then it comes out later in the week that's like he's going to miss about 4 games, maybe more. And then the articles come out yesterday that they're strongly considering season-ending shoulder surgery, which if that happens to him, I think is a huge blow to his potential development. Because he's been looking good so far, but missing pretty much most of your rookie year, except for like 3 games you played, which you got injured in like half of them, it feels like. It's really disappointing for him, I'm sure. It's frustrating.
And one of the main things that, was high on A-Rich coming out of the draft was his arm.
Yeah.
Right. And if you're having all those shoulder surgeries, man, that could really mess how far you can throw that football for sure. For me, I'm the Colts. I'm in a weird position right now, man. Like, A-Rich, like, he can't stay healthy. And, like, Colts, I did send y'all an email. Y'all can get back to me by that on the way. You guys need to teach A-Rich how to slide. One, you need to teach A-Rich how to protect himself, go down with grace. You don't have to be Superman. You're not Cam Newton, bro. Like, just go down, man. Just go down.
Wasn't that what Trevor Lawrence literally told him? Like after the first game, he's like, "Protect yourself more."
Protect yourself more.
And then he gets hurt twice after that.
That's what I'm saying. You got hurt that game. You didn't finish that game, and then you said, "Okay, well, I think I'm Superman again," and you get hurt again, and then okay, I think I'm Superman again, and then you get hurt again. Now you're out. So like, bro, like, this if anything, this needs to be a learning lesson for you. You're not Superman, okay? Just go down. You know what I'm saying? If you have to go work with some QBs, some veteran QBs, they'll teach you how to fall, not take all that weight on you, and take a sack properly, and how to slide too. Like learn how to slide, bro. Like, we understand you have the athletic talent in the world, but you don't have to take all those hits. Yeah. Even Lamar doesn't take all those hits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Jaguars are looking good now, though. This team has been really confusing. Most of the AFC has been really confusing so far.
Yeah.
But it seems like they've finally gotten it together. Yep. Playing how they should have been playing at the beginning of the season.
They should have.
And I am way more confident in them now, I'd say, than I was a couple weeks ago. I'm still not fully sold on the idea of the Jaguars being true contenders just because their previous performances have definitely shook me a little.
Yep.
But it's definitely a good spot to be at for them, and the rest of the season is looking like it should be a cakewalk, at least for the division.
Yeah.
I don't see any of these teams competing with them, except, the Texans, for all we know, could shock the world.
They could shock the world, man.
Right now, it's looking like a one-horse race, and getting this kind of win, 17 points against a division rival, it really just gets the boys going, makes you feel good about yourself, and I think they really have, come back to reality from their struggling ways the past couple weeks.
You know who confused the hell out of me? The Bengals. They do this every year, man. Every year.
Joe Burrow's
start out slow.
His mandatory slow start to the year.
And then he just, let's pick it up now. Okay.
Yeah.
We're in the 1-3 hole, but you know what? Let's just cruise to the rest of the season.
It's as Bengal fan, if I was, I was talking about earlier in the season how I'm starting to be concerned about this team and Joe Burrow's ability.
Yep.
And now they're 2 wins in a row.
Yep.
Going into the bye, Joe Burrow's definitely looked way better than he had been the previous weeks. So it's definitely encouraging. We don't know if they'll keep it up. Maybe Joe Burrow starts to regress again, but his calf starting to heal will definitely help him out. And, I just think the Bengals are looking a lot better than they were the first couple weeks. But that kind of just happens every year with them.
Yeah, they'll be tested though these next 2 weeks though.
Yeah.
After this bye week, you got the 49ers, and you have the Bills, and then you have the Texans who aren't going to lie down, and then you have the Ravens after that. So we're going to really see what they're made of these next couple weeks for sure. And then you have the Jags. Then you have the Chiefs. Oh my God, that schedule is interesting.
That's what happens when you
start off slow. When you start off, that's also happens when you start off slow. Now you're okay. You can't lose many of those games now.
Yeah, they're all must wins.
They're all really must wins for sure. So especially with how competitive the AFC North is right now.
Yeah.
So
Seahawks, just not a great team.
They're
this
not
year.
a great team, yeah.
But I kind of expected that regression. But I was hoping to see a little more from them. But at least it was a close game. It was a 4-point game in the end. But these guys just looking like a really tough year for them.
Yeah, it is. So
CT is definitely hitting DK Metcalf right now.
It is, especially those paint nails too. But yeah, so Cincinnati, You guys will have an interesting end to the schedule for sure.
Yeah, it will be a sprint, it feels like.
Interesting. Yes, you guys going to need to outrun some people. I'm not going to talk about the Vikings and the Bears because Justin Fields didn't play. I don't even really want to get into that game for sure.
That's tough for them, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he's only been so good for them, but it's like what's happening with Anthony Richardson. You don't want your young guy getting hurt.
Yeah.
Maybe he turned a corner, as we saw against the Commanders, but I guess we'll never know.
Yes, I guess we won't know. But, yeah, not much to really talk about that game. The Vikings won a game they should have won without Justin Fields. So, yeah, kind of getting into the 49ers. Yeah. We had this talk last week. Was Brock Purdy an elite quarterback? And I think that game answered all questions for sure. He's a product of. He's a good quarterback.
You were trying to tell me.
I was asking you simply because it was a conversation that was being had. Was he an elite quarterback or not? I said he's probably a product of the system. Let's be honest.
Well,
and all the weapons around him too.
Yeah, I mean, we see what happens now when Debo goes down, and the offensive line starts to get banged up. McCaffrey goes down.
Yep.
It's really unfortunate for them because they've built a great team.
They do.
And they have just all the pieces.
Yep.
But I don't think Brock Purdy's a guy to be able to fight through that kind of adversity and get them those wins when he has no one else around him. That kind of like Patrick Mahomes kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's really, really troubling, I think, as a 49ers fan, if these guys are out long term and this kind of game is indicative of, what's going to happen without those guys, then it's really concerning for them. And, I'm sure they'll get back on track. Kyle Shanahan's a great coach, but for all we know, this could be the beginning of the end for the 49ers.
If anything, I'm more concerned with the fact that Juan Jennings had more catches than George Kittle. That's a problem. That is a problem. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need George Kittle. I'm gonna need you to wake up. That game needs to be your breakout game right there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, for me. I will give Brock Purdy credit. He did drive them down to win the game with the field goal, right? But it's kind of like how with the Oregon game, right? You have because I'm not gonna say Brock Purdy's that guy, but if Brock Purdy is what people thought he was, he goes and wins that game for them, right?
He's what I thought he was.
Okay, if he's but like I said, if he's what we thought he was, then he has to win that game for you.
Yeah,
he has to win the game for you.
Yeah, he just doesn't have that, good quarterback trait in him, I feel like. He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
I don't want to make it seem like I'm saying he's a bottom 5 quarterback in the league, but he's not where people were saying he was.
Yeah, he's not what people were saying he was.
He's not top 10. I don't even think he's top 15.
Yeah, I think he's top 20.
He's good enough.
He's cool. He's going to win you games.
And that's what was important enough for the 49ers, but I think if you're going to be missing these guys, you need more than just good enough.
You need more than Brock Purdy, let's be honest. Yeah, we can do you want to talk about the Raiders and the Pats?
I mean, Bill Belichick needs to retire.
Yeah, Bill. Yeah, it's like Michael Jordan in Washington. But even with that, you're not putting up anything that's showing me anything. I'm gonna need you to. I'm gonna need you to hang it up. If y'all get Caleb Williams in the draft, you need to hang it up, big homie. I ain't gonna lie to you. I love you. I've sung your praises like the world has. But Tom Brady's just sitting back on his couch sipping on his mojito, feeling great right now because he's just this kid this guy needs me.
I mean, they inducted him to their Hall of Fame, and then who knows? One phone call away, and a load of money.
If they don't get Caleb Williams, he needs to make that phone call. Because Bill, you're not looking great. You lost him when he lost to Jimmy Garoppolo. You lost to Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah, I think that's all I need to know.
I didn't realize. Yeah, it's a revenge game for them. Although I hope Jimmy Garoppolo is okay. He had to get taken to a hospital test taken on him.
So essentially, you lost to Brian Hoyer.
Yeah, another backup, another Patriots backup. Bill Belichick is a fraud. I'm not saying that, but but it's looking more and more like it.
You're on fraud watch right now. Not gonna lie to you, buddy. Yeah, like we were saying, you were the greatest coach of all time.
It's looking a little shaky right now.
We saw Bill Walsh do it without Joe. We've seen who am I thinking of for the Giants?
Parcells.
Parcells. We see Bill Parcells do it with any quarterback.
Yeah.
We do it with any quarterback. Yeah, you're not looking great without Tom right now, man. I ain't gonna lie, you're not looking great right now.
Although, to his credit, he has Mac Jones and Cam Newton as his quarterback since that. So I'll take the Cam Newton excuse, right? Because Cam Newton's at the end of his career. You destroyed Mac Jones. Oh my gosh, you are the biggest Mac Jones fanboy.
We had this, but see, it's funny, right? He argued with me last episode, but after the episode, he said, "You know what, Darren? I see what you was coming from with that.
I see where you're coming from, but I still don't agree that Mac Jones would have been
close
to top 10 anywhere in his career.
I'm not. Okay, okay. I don't agree with that. I think Mac Jones. I think Mac. See, right? Because nobody saw Tom Brady being, a top 10 quarterback at the end of his career.
Oh my gosh!
But he ended up being, right.
Oh,
you want to know why?
Did not.
Do you want to know why?
You did not just compare Mac Jones to Tom Brady.
Hey. Let's not act like Tom Brady was freaking Andrew Luck coming out of the draft, okay?
Oh.
Let's not act like he was that guy, okay? He was the backup. Let's not act like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Mac Jones was the starter and is terrible.
Actually, he wasn't. Cam Newton was the starter, but he got the minute after Cam Newton got hurt with COVID.
Well, this year he's the starter.
So he wasn't, right?
Okay.
My thing is,
sorry.
Yeah, okay, but my thing is, right, and let's be honest, like, you gave him, who did you give him, do with the clipboard? Who don't think Matt Patricia, man. Come on now.
Clipboard.
Matt Patricia, like, you couldn't, like, there's only, like, 2 quarterbacks I could see winning with Matt Patricia as the offensive coordinator. 2. Maybe 3.
Mahomes, Brady?
2. That's 2. 3. Okay. And that's because they're just great. They're going to rise above Matt Patricia. Mahomes,
Brady.
Joshy, and then Brady. And maybe,
Josh Allen?
I'm talking about right now. I'm not talking about right now. I'm talking about all time.
Okay.
All time, then I could see, Brady, Patrick, and then maybe Peyton winning above Pat Patricia all time.
Yeah, he's the end-all, be-all. He's the best defensive coordinator out there, and he's an offensive coordinator.
Yeah, but that's my thing. Whose idea was to hire him as the offensive coordinator? He's better at stopping
offenses when he's coaching them.
Yes, that's exactly what we're trying to say. Because he's terrible, Bill. So I'm putting that one on you, okay? I'm putting that one on you because Matt Jones is a young quarterback. You cannot give him Matt Patricia.
Bill doesn't care anymore.
Yeah, I think now he's like, okay, I won.
He needs to call it raps.
Yeah, Bill. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to I'm gonna need you not damage your career anymore.
Send him those retirement forms.
Yeah, because we saw Brady win without you, and you're not winning without Brady. So, yeah. Kind of getting into more news. Cooper Kupp is back.
Oh, he's back, and he is back.
He's literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
Puka, you had a good run, my friend. You had a good run. We sung your praises, man. But Cooper said, "I'm gonna need that spot back, big fella."
Yeah. I mean, I was very low on him coming into the season, Cooper, because last year he was down year, I guess considered. I mean, of course you're gonna have a down year when you had a Triple Crown the year before.
Yeah, he also got hurt.
But he's coming off an injury, and I just wasn't as high on him as most people were. But comes back out the gates, just ready to go, proving me wrong, proving any other one else that was doubting him wrong. He's just proving that I guess Justin's hurt now. Maybe he's the best wide receiver in the league again.
Yeah.
I mean, fully healthy. I would love to see, a wide receiver battle between Kupp and Jefferson for a full season.
No, it was Tyreek Hill yesterday.
Oh, I guess Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill probably emerged himself back as the best, but Cooper's definitely right there. He's
I think pure talent-wise, Cooper is better. Because if you take down Tyreek's speed just even a notch, he's still great. I'm not just saying he's only speed because there's a lot of receivers that are only speed who aren't good.
That's what I'm saying.
But I think Cooper does more with less. In a way, you know what I'm saying?
Because I can make the argument that of course, Cooper for me is a better route runner than Tyreek Hill.
Yeah,
a way better route runner. But Tyreek Hill is just faster than
he's
Cooper.
just faster. So,
so for me, they kind of cancel each other out for me, right?
Yeah, I mean they're both amazing. I'm not trying to say one is worse than the other. They're both the two best, I'd say, right now, especially with Justin Jefferson hurt.
Puka, honestly, you've had a drop off in the last couple of games, but I still believe in you, friend. I ain't gonna lie. It's just, Matt Stafford, when he gets Cooper Kupp, he doesn't see anybody else on the field. It's not your fault.
We know how Matthew Stafford gets when he gets his.
When he gets Cooper, it's okay. It's okay. Robert Woods dealt with the same thing. It's okay. You don't have to. Don't cry. Don't cry, young fella.
Cooper Kupp ended Robert Woods' career.
It's Cooper Kupp or anything. That's what it is. We can kind of get into a little bit of Bills and Giants. Do you want to get into that game? That game was weird.
Okay.
Weird.
The Bills, I don't know what to make of them this year.
I don't know either.
They're blowing out bad teams, and then they're almost losing to bad teams. And then they're competitive with good teams, and then they blow out good teams. This team is just very inconsistent.
Weird.
But I think this game might be more indicative of their injuries catching up to them. Matt Milano, Tre'Davious White, they're all hurt. They have another guy getting hurt. And I definitely think they're in danger zone, it feels like. They are not playing like a top team. They've won a couple games like a top team, but the top teams don't almost lose to the New York Football Giants.
I think this, for me, it's weird because of the Bills. Like, it's kind of what happens when you don't get younger, right? Because we've seen the Chiefs get younger. We've seen the Bengals get younger. The Bills still have McCodd, who's still great. They still have Jordan Poyer, who's still great. And you still have Tre'Davious White, who's still great. Von Miller, who really can't stay healthy like that, who's still great. you have a lot of these older guys.
They need to build more through the
when you
draft.
have older guys, they get hurt more often.
Yeah.
Which we've seen.
It's just not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. I mean, like you have a great slot corner. Teron Johnson's that guy for me. Teron Johnson's that guy for me. But like, you can't almost lose to Tyrod Taylor. Let's be honest.
Okay, first of all, respect Tyrod Taylor.
I respect him, but like
I love that man. Sorry we ended your career, almost pretty much.
That too. But for me, you can't almost lose to Tyrod Taylor.
I mean, especially considering last play of the game.
Yeah, they had the ball.
Pass interference.
Put the game to win. And it was pass interference.
For sure.
It was pass interference. But they did call it before this. I don't think they wanted to call it back to back.
Yeah,
they did call it the play before.
But even like having been put in that situation as the Bills. You should never be game win online having to get away with a pass interference against the Giants.
Against the Giants, yeah.
I mean, maybe Tyrod Taylor's better than Daniel Jones, but no one else on that team is really amazing besides Saquon, so.
Bass, I don't know who the 49ers kicker is and the Oregon kicker, and I think it was another kicker that missed the game, one or two. You guys need to, you guys need to go look in y'all mirror this morning. Y'all need to
respect Tyler Bass.
Do the only thing y'all know how to do, and that's he missed 2 kicks. Do the only thing y'all know how to do, and that's kick the football through the net. Please do your job, man. I'm sorry. Like there's no way that you guys should be winning and almost losing games.
I mean, I will give kickers credit. Up until this week,
they actually
kickers were 120 for 120 with kicks within the 35, I believe.
They've actually were pretty good, but yesterday was not a good.
No, yesterday was
not good.
This weekend was not great for kickers.
Gotta get a little bit of predictions. Your Chargers actually play tonight against the Cowboys.
Finally, back to football.
I'm not even gonna ask who you think is gonna win. Kind of know who you're gonna pick to win. How much do you think y'all win by?
This is tough. It's difficult to tell because this is gonna be our first game fully healthy. Michael Williams tore his ACL, so not fully, but we have all of our guys back. Joey Bosa, Eckler, I'm pretty sure Derwin, they're all healthy.
You got rid of JC Jackson.
Which is, good. He was terrible. But we're fully healthy now, and this Dallas team just has not been great.
They haven't.
And I really hope we win this game. Mm-hmm. I think we will. We should win this game.
Yep.
And I don't know if it's necessarily going to be a big blowout because we don't blow out teams very often.
I don't.
We just don't do that.
I don't.
But this Cowboys team can collapse at a moment's notice.
Okay.
But so can we. That's the thing I'm scared of.
Yeah.
Is that this Chargers team at any moment can be up 21-0 and then lose the game 35-34.
How could we up 27-0?
Thanks.
It's gonna come down to if Justin Herbert outplayed Dak Prescott, which I mean I don't expect that not to happen.
The question of the century. If you could take Dak's best game this year and Herbert's worst game, and Herbert still outperforms.
They're arguably the same. So for me, it's going to depend on what Justin Herbert can do against that Cowboys defense. Hopefully, they can protect him against. We're going to see what Rashawn Slater. I think the Cowboys are going to do the opposite of what they did last week. I don't think they're going to line up Michael Parsons against Rashawn Slater. I think they're going to line up on the opposite side, like what they should have did against Trent Williams.
Pipkins is
because I don't think they want to see Michael Parsons get dominated again.
No, Rashawn Slater does that. He's that guy.
Yeah, he's that guy. So I have the Chargers winning. Actually, I think the Cowboys are just not those guys. I don't think they've been those boys ever. So I don't have them winning this game. I think the Chargers win by a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
By a field goal.
I mean, I don't think it's gonna be a field goal. I think it's gonna be a little further away. I don't think it's gonna be that close.
You think it'll be about 7?
7 or like 10 is where I see it at. Okay, that's where I'm feeling right now.
Yeah, it depends for me what Austin Eckler can do coming back, and if Derwin James is going to come back and be that guy.
Got big aspirations for them.
Yeah. So Jackson Saints play on Thursday night. Who do you have winning quickly in that game?
Not the Saints. I will never pick. I will never pick the Saints to win a game.
It's not even because I'm an NFC South member, but it's just I don't believe the Saints at all. So.
Yeah, and the Jaguars are finally looking good again. So
they're rolling.
They're definitely capable of winning this game.
And especially when you lose to the Texans. Derek Carr. Yeah, this is probably your last stop. Buddy.
It's Derek Carr.
This is probably your last stop. Quickly, we can get into some baseball. Rangers versus Astros.
Yeah, Rangers take game 1 surprisingly in Houston. I mean, it's only so much of an away game. You know, they're like a couple hours away, but very surprising. Very good looks for Rangers Texas. Fans. It's a 2-0 game, so it's one of those gritty, grinded out type of games.
Yep.
But going up 1-0, taking one away,
finish champions.
They are looking good to make the World Series at least. And as much as it pains me, I think the Astros can definitely get back into it. They have been the best team over the past 7 years ish since 2017.
Yeah,
they've been amazing, so they could definitely get back into it. But it's definitely looking scary for them.
So who do you have winning this next game?
The next game, I think the Astros get back, but
I do too.
I could see it being where they'll win this, then Rangers win, then they win, and then the Rangers take the last two. They pretend to do back and forth, and then the Rangers just put them away.
I have the same thing. I have it going back and forth, but I do have the Astros pulling off in the end because of pedigree. And I mean, it's an nip-tail. I don't like both teams, but I'll go with the Astros. Have the Phillies and the Diamondbacks played? Yeah.
I believe tonight is their first game.
Okay, so who do you have winning quickly?
Phillies in 5, maybe 6.
Phillies in 5.
I mean, the Diamondbacks, on paper, are not an amazing team.
Wow.
I'm underrating them, I guess, because they did sweep the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Postseason Dodgers, so that, you gotta take a little knock off of them.
This is coming from an Angels fan, y'all. So just make sure that when he's talking shit, just know it's
you cannot say postseason Angels because we haven't made the postseason.
No, I'm just saying.
Don't get on me about this.
I'm just saying he's talking shit simply because he's an Angels fan. And that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna talk shit about the Dodgers.
Because the Dodgers are just proven winners in the postseason. And I'm just a hater. No, those guys are frauds. They've been on fraud watch since their inception, since they came to LA.
Hey guys, it's
just in Brooklyn.
It's like a Chargers fan talking shit about the Rams. We
know
why they're talking shit about the Rams.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, for me, I have the Phillies winning this pretty easily. I'm winning in 5 as well. So I think the Phillies are just on a roll right now. Yeah. I think they're poised to go to the World Series. Honestly, I think they can win it. I don't see that.
I really hope they win because I don't think the Diamondbacks are good enough to be able to beat either of the other two AL teams.
I don't think they do either.
And I really don't want either of those two teams to win.
Yeah.
So I want the Phillies. Because I like the team. They got a former Hoosier. Shout out Kyle Schwarber.
Yes, sir.
And
I love their atmosphere.
Yeah, they're an electric team.
They deserve to be on that stage for sure.
But also, they give the best chance at not seeing Texas win a World Series.
That too. I don't think nobody wants to see another Texas World Series.
No.
So, that is the end of the episode, though. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you like the content. Let us know what you guys would like to see. If you guys like to see anything specific in the comment section. And I'm Darian.
I'm Jason.
And we are out.
Love y'all.
We're out.